Well, hello everyone. It is 9:15 Central Standard Time here in the very humid, deep piney woods of East Texas, and it is Monday, June the 16th. The year is 2014 of our Lord. We had a very interesting time. The whole day has been just like the one preceding it and the one preceding that. Very, very, just unbelievable. Started the day off to find out that we got everything cleared up with STP as far as our end intermeshing with theirs, and being able to instantly go out to everybody. Boom, I'm out of it. Boom, boom, cling. Texas and Florida, as of this morning, have put on standby over at STP. You cannot open an account with them. However, you'll be able, thank goodness we got everything done by this morning, you'll be able to make a payment for the subscription. I am going to have to manually do the outs. The monies that will go in, we're going to have to. We'll have all of the interaction with Texas and Florida on a different system because they won't be clearing API through STP. This is old school. We've done it before. We just have to have the setup to do that. Another miracle only found out now because we're all in sync doing something pure. This came to me from one of the other members. Matter of fact, Troy this morning, very instrumental in this whole movement, let me know that early. A whole lot better than getting down the road, getting all fired up, and having all the uproar about, oh, what about Texas? Well, I'm in Texas, all that. So, a blessing, a real blessing. This is what happens when you're in line. Now there's full transparency to you folks so that you'll know what's going on, so that you won't ever have to wonder. You're not going to have to wonder here because transparency equates into more of us being able to be lifted because we'll all have faith in each other. So that's what happened there. And then we're rolling along here during the day, wonderful day, going about meeting everybody and talking snakes and stuff with Luann. Linda, Luann, the god dog, Linda Ann, and Rachel, Rebecca. And so had a good day overall. Just another day in the world of the galactics, eh? Well, that call was not able to be held on the original time or number time, but not the number that we had displayed on Facebook and in that email. Because we're syncing up within 5 minutes of the time that I realized that we were not going to be able to launch that call on that line, I called free conferencing. They gave me an emergency line. I posted it in Facebook. It went viral, and we had absolutely what some have said is the best call we've had to date. Can you imagine that? It was absolutely uplifting to me. I heard from people that haven't been around for a while at all, and about their interest and their passion. Some in an earthquake, some liked and were familiar with suspicious observations. SO David, that I haven't probably shown y'all here in a minute, a little bit of it. And for the real report, got a little action up there in the far north as far as some convergence that might take place later tonight. But that kind of stuff. And so it was a wonderful call, even though it was totally what some would have thrown their hands in the air. We just stayed centered, had huge crowds show up, and we'll be having another call tomorrow. I'll get that up on the-highrollers.com. It'll be the same time, same number that's displayed over there. If you see any a different number, use it because that means that number's not back up again yet. So, and or on Facebook, Ribby Scott over at Hempville High, over at my page, Randy Matthews' page, and there's getting to be quite a few. We have people scattered. Well, literally, we got folks waiting over in Japan. Waiting, another thing I want to bring up is that just like on our target is Wednesday, just like on the free conferencing deal today, all that we have is a target, crosshairs on it. We don't know what's going to bring. Everything is set. Don't have the skin up. It's worked on an off internet site that we're working on the skin. It's going to be very basic. It could be that I just have it to where it is a login page, very inconspicuous, very not in any way drawing attention, we have something very powerful here that you need to realize that it's very powerful. It is, you've heard this, but this is real. It's a one of a kind because no one out there seeking to gain profit from it without being in it would do something like this. The only way I can do well is if I'm just like one of y'all and I get in it and come up just like you do. I have the only advantage I have is I know a lot of people here. Been doing this a long time. I'll have a big front line, but you have the opportunity to build just as big. I'll only be able to go and benefit 3 levels low, even though it's a unilevel, and that's this thing right here. We went over it, and powerful, very easy to understand. Doesn't take 26 pages or 50 or 10 or 2. It takes 1 page, and we'll have all that up there, and we'll have a little video showing you a little bit clearer than this one here in the future for your people. A lot of folks ask, what are we going to be selling? Actually, you're selling yourself. I'll be honest with you. And anything that you do, whether you're selling newspapers or you're selling anything, cosmetics or clothes or shoes, you have to get to know your customer. You have to meet your customer. You have to make friends in the case things of some home-based businesses. You got to do that part first. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make friends and stop right there. Then we're simply going to say to these people that have various interests, from earthquakes to like myself, hemp, and the fact that this world is being taken over by these deadgum crooks. That's my passion. That comes out pretty quickly. Other people are going to have other passions. We're going to have a forum. This is part of the value of what you're getting for the $35 subscription. We're going to have a forum after the people that I've been talking to today and before. We're going to have specialized little rooms that you can go in over there 24/7, and you'll be able to pose a question just about any topic and either contribute to answering or get your question answered. There will be we're going to have an award system. It's going to be a cash award system based on that will be a learning curve. Who will be analyzing what's a good question? I mean, what's a good answer and things like that. But we're going to give those people cash, a way that they can have another means of potential revenue stream by telling the truth, eh? And so we start a culture like that. That's going to be part of the value of what we offer. We're going to have a forum to where we'll have the things like Hangouts, where we can be sitting in the chat room at some moment, a very interesting thing comes up, or an article comes up, or something, a news alert comes up. Let's do a Hangout. Boom, we do a Hangout, we record it, and you get to see it later. It could be about the symphony. It doesn't make any difference. We're all learning from each other's life experiences. It may not be interesting to you at that time, but it may be the very thing that some others needed, that information. We're trying to monetize our being. That's what we're trying to do. And we have a lot of other things that we're going to do. Hope that you can make it to one of our calls, and hope that you can resonate with what we are going to do. And for those that are resonating, let's just take a trip about town, eh? This is over here that which is the suspicious observation. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes of this. This will be those that do follow this. You haven't had this in a couple of days, and so I'm going to give you this, turn all these fans off, and here you go. Stand by. About 3 minutes. Everybody else just enjoy.
Good morning, folks. We'll start with some links and things to check out. First, if you're not watching Mr. Too Tough 2, that's Billy Yelverton of The Observers in our lab with our 70,000 volt transformer. Major upgrade to the landform experiments. Definitely check it out if you get the chance. Then, many remember the terrific discussion with Dr. Kong Pop Uyen.
I turned that off for a minute, took my picture off, so we'll continue on. Here we go.
Systems of space weather-induced natural disasters. Our Skype connection wasn't the best, but David Hyde of the Suspicious Observers Collective transcribed the entire thing on our blog page. That's linked for you below. He included the audio so you can read along and listen, and he always adds visual aids to help in the comprehension as well. Remember when I got lambasted for simply sharing the now popular critique that zero climate models factored in geothermal venting in submarine volcanoes? I remember, and here is the third such resource explaining the genesis of Antarctica's melting, and it's not us. Furthermore, the evidence given at this channel for a coming mini ice age is wholly independent of the mechanisms described in this paper, which puts us about 10 to 20 years from the start of the next one. Where have we heard this before? Quake uptick is in swing. Apart from the 6.4 in the Indian Ocean, this is the fourth multi-6 mag reading downgraded in the last 3 days. Staying underground, we have two more American volcanoes on alert in Alaska and in Hawaii. We also have a severe surge warning in the Caspian Sea, which should be cresting right about now. Yesterday, we noted the low between Australia and New Zealand, and today we're watching its convergence curve directly across the land. In Europe, the same line of note in the Mediterranean is a concern, but also the building clouds and precipitation due north of that got the Atlantic low out there to the west as well. The convergence in the US was rough last night, causing some damage, and will do so again tonight. Interesting that the actual cell driving this convergence is hundreds of miles north into Canada, but the bad weather only seeks the greatest convergence of differing air masses, colliding tonight in that same Midwest area. Solar wind, very calm, but we do expect a coronal hole stream at some point soon. Magnetosphere, just fine. Solar flaring continues to fail to live up to last week's show. The decline is undeniable. We're barely taking M1s. But one of the larger events we did take this morning was nearly center disk. Luckily, the ejecta looks sparse. The sunspots have been more interesting than the flaring itself for a while. The group departing up north is well divided left and right, while the southern former X-maker appears mostly monopolar but for some tiny spots surrounding it. We'll get a better look at the incomers tomorrow and begin magnetic classification. Right now, Mars and Mercury share a connection on the Earth-facing disk, while Earth and Venus connect to the departing limb. The coronal fields can't decide if they want the negative or the positive coronal holes to be more geo-effective, but the high variability is something we'll watch with strong force to the southern regions and at least moderate to above average power up north. The dark coronal holes are very easy to spot in 211 angstroms. Current conditions and shots of our star to close. Eyes open. No fear. It's 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.
Okay, that is a wonderful news report for those that are just now coming in. We usually give about 3 minutes to that in the future when we get underway. I'll be heading that up at around 5:36 Central Time a.m. Give you a little boost in the morning. We'll do a little runabout town. This is Going Global East meets West. I'll give you an update here. Something over on Kelly's site. This is Phoenix's wife. You need to go to Going Global East meets West .blogspot.com.es and then just do a search on Going Global East meets West blog and you'll find it. The interesting thing here that I found is that I wanted to point out is that where is it? Is that the U.S. is here it is. This is hilarious. U.S. asked Russia to rejoin natural gas negotiations. It's not working. Putin is going to pull the gas pipeline, stop sending gas through the Ukraine. It's going to shut off a third of the UK's natural gas supply, and they're in diddly they can do. U.S. asked Russia to rejoin. The ones running our ship here until we can change that, they're going to find that that dog isn't going to hunt. It's terrible. We take another look over here and look, we see things. The total U.S. debt soars to nearly 60 trillion, foreshadows new recession. All of this chaos. Look at this right here. A genetically modified super banana to be tested in the Americas. Unbelievable. Look at this bad boy. Rare double tornado rips through Nebraska. We just got that. Someone was on our call this morning. I think it was Jama that said that someone had just told her. That's another valuable thing I want to point out. When we get that chat going 24/7, we got 400, 500, 600 people in there all the time. If we get a roller, what I call a rolling blackout, or someone hits it, has something taking place in their area, we can have immediate disbursements to our group. You cannot imagine the value of having a community that's watching out for each other. We heard about this when it was happening. Wonderful, powerful. Feel very honored to be a part of all this. And we have a way that we can monetize our lifestyle and we can get a cash flow so that we can be stewards of the truth and bring people into knowing getting the information that they need. That's what we're all about. Looky here. Imagine that. I don't have any back pains. Read twin lines. And this is going to be a great movie right here that I'm going to watch later on, or a little documentary. Universal consciousness in the metaphysical aspects. I've started watching a little bit.
Prior to the creation of this atmosphere, the sun's ultraviolet radiation made for uninhabitable conditions. But as the Earth cooled further,
It's going to be very cool. Very, very, very cool. What I'd like to invite you to do, it's been a long day for me, and it is one of those whoo kind of things. This is something that is undeniable. For those that's never done this, I'm going to invite you to take a little bit, just take 10 minutes for yourself. We'll only run it 5 today because we're now running up into 15 minutes or so on this one. So we'll only go 5 minutes, but I urge you to do this. It's for your own, it will make you feel very good. Just relax and just for a minute and it's been a rough day. Any day that you're out there slaying the dragons is you need a time to decompress. And for 5 minutes, you can see this thing rolling right here. It's 10:36. At 15:36, I'll stop this. See if you can make it to 15:36. See if you can enjoy the moment. This is an absolutely unbelievable little video deal. If you want to watch it, it's on YouTube. You can see it here. Just watch this, relax, and that's where the power's at, people, is when you're free to think when they can't get you, and it's right there inside of your own mind. The answer is within. See if you find that. And that's coming from an East Texas redneck. Can you imagine that? I'm going to use this time too, so y'all enjoy this. Here we go.
Details of seconds, waiting time expired, broken parts of today, moments die like choirs. I'll try. Falling by the wayside.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Hope you enjoyed that. Be sure and check the highrollers.com for the call, which will be tomorrow. And we'll be posting things like this up in our when we have our gatherings. And we urge everybody. This is a little bit different than what we normally do, but this is kind of a midday deal, if you will. And but it is about focus and just taking that time off. We all need that time off. That's part of the value that we have for our subscription. Is that we hope that we get people into conditioning to, if they don't come and sit with us, from the chat room right over to the allotted hour or whatever that may be, and at least find their time during the day, whatever time zone that they're in. Herein lies the secrets. When you can find quietness, and then you can think and create freely. The solutions to all problems that you have to be created inside of your own mind. They can't be created outside. You'll just be applying someone else's solution. You have to adapt each solution that you see or you're influenced by off of your own backboard, your own backdrop. And this is how you get to use your own portal to the divine rather than the backdrop of the information and dogma that we're getting over in the fear, doom, and gloom over there that we just went through. God bless you. God bless this wonderful country of America, the principles it was founded on. She shall rise again based on those principles. God bless this blue planet. Go out tomorrow and smile at a stranger to make you feel good. This is Randy, aka Jedi One. We down.